Jake Paul's dream fight just turned into a nightmare as Mike Tyson just pulled the plug on their highly anticipated bout. The air is thick with tension as this fight was all the boxing community was talking about. We all had our hopes up. Jake, more than any of us. This fight was supposed to be huge. The biggest of Jake's career. A chance to finally shut the haters up. But hold on, things just took a left hook out of nowhere. Mike Tyson dipped out and Jake's world is crumbling. He's like, "Are you kidding me? After all the hype, all the build-up, all the training, Mike decides to walk away? This is a joke?" Let's unpack this whole messy situation. Now, let's be honest. It came as a shocker to all of us when Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul hit the news back in March. Come on. This matchup sent the entire fight world into a frenzy. I mean, we all saw Jake shouting from the rooftops about how much he wanted this fight, but Mike has always laughed it off. It was hard to believe when the problem child actually landed a fight with the boxing legend. No one and their grandmas ever imagined Jake in the same ring as Mike. This was crazy. You know, like your history teacher agreeing to a boxing match with you. Okay, maybe not that extreme, but you get the point. This was a massive deal. Netflix hopped on board to sponsor, it was all over the news, and Jake was training like never before. Yeah, Jake wasn't going to come to play. He went through some extreme lengths to bag a fight with Iron Mike, and he wasn't going to let it go to waste. The athlete was putting in the work and gearing up like a beast. So of course he lost his chill when Mike Tyson decided to dip out. Jake said, "I've been busting my ass every single day preparing for this fight. This was supposed to be my moment, my chance to shut everyone up who's ever doubted me. I've faced a ton of criticism, and this was my opportunity to prove I belong in the ring with a legend. And now it's gone." Just like that. This fight wasn't only Jake's ticket to a huge payday. It was his chance to change his life, cement his legacy in the boxing world, and prove all his critics wrong, so his reaction here is valid. I mean, you can't just cancel a fight like this after months of hype, trash talk, and even press conferences. Well, Mike's a man of his word, so you know he didn't just cancel it for no reason. We'll get into more of it later. Right now, we've got an angry Jake Paul who's lashing out to deal with. You know this guy. He's known for his no-nonsense attitude and brash personality. The problem child never holds back, so he's going off at Tyson. This fight meant everything to me, and we've been hearing him go on and on about it ever since Mike put ink on that contract. Speaking of the contract, can Mike even pull out last minute? I mean, the papers were signed, bets were placed, and the game was on, right? Here's the breakdown. When you sign a fight contract, it's essentially a legally binding agreement. You're promising to show up, fight your heart out, and entertain the fans. Backing out without a legitimate reason, like a medical emergency, can be considered a breach of contract. Our guy Tyson isn't a scaredy cat who gets cold feet. He leaves that kind of thing for Paul, so you better believe him when he says he had a legitimate reason for this. Hear me out. The guy is 58, so Jake should have seen this coming. I mean, any fight with him is nothing but a flight risk. Mike's got a serious health issue that's stopping him from stepping into the ring. Now, this isn't a broken bone or the classic ACL injury. Mike suffered an ulcer flare-up during his cross-country flight from Miami to Los Angeles. His condition got bad and medical assistance was required on the flight. As soon as the plane landed, he was rushed into the hospital. Now, Iron Mike assured fans that he was doing all right, and the fight was still on before things took a wrong turn. This health hiccup turned into a more serious health issue, and the boxing legend decided to call off the fight. I want to thank my fans around the world for their support and understanding during this time. Unfortunately, due to my ulcer flare-up, I have been advised by my doctor to lighten my training for a few weeks to rest and recover. My body is in better overall shape than it has been since the 1990s, and I will be back to my full training schedule soon. Jake Paul, this may have bought you some time, but in the end, you will still be knocked out and out of boxing for good. I appreciate everyone's patience and can't wait to deliver an unforgettable performance later this year. It's not like he had any other option. He's got ulcers and it's serious. Mike can't just push through and train anyway. You know the guy? He doesn't show up unless he can bring in his A game. Iron Mike was training like crazy, preparing for the big bout. You wouldn't expect a man pushing his 60s to train this hard in the gym, but look at our guy.
Day two, we're getting ready for you. One, two, three, four.
Sadly, it came with consequences. Now, I'm no medical expert, but a doctor on the governing board of the American Gastroenterological Association said that Mike shouldn't be anywhere near a ring if he wants to treat his condition. Lawrence Kaczynski, a Chicago-area gastroenterologist, said, "I don't know how you continue to put your body through intense training for this if you have an ulcer. There are 7 doctors treating Mike and not one is familiar with this case. Well, you don't have a lot of 58-year-old men training for professional boxing bouts. Mike's one of a kind after he was the youngest heavyweight champion. An untreated ulcer over time can erode deeper into the stomach and sometimes create an in the entire wall, and that's called a perforation. Take it from the voice of boxing sports. Mike's ulcers are no joke, and he might stay out of the ring forever now. Joe Rogan's not holding his breath on this matchup."
Who knows if it's ever going to happen? I mean, Mike has ulcers. He's a
The
58-year-old
most
man.
old man.
Jake's really butthurt about this cancellation, and he's taking it hard. He's been lashing out on social media, calling Tyson a coward, a fraud. The problem child is even accusing Tyson of backing out because he was scared of getting knocked out. Whoa, hold on there. Calling Tyson scared might be a bit of a stretch. The man's 58 years old. It's understandable if his health isn't what it used to be. But still, this gotta be a huge blow for Jake. All that effort, the training, the mental preparation, down the drain. This was his chance to prove himself to the boxing world. All the critics saying he's just a social media celeb with no real skills? This fight could have shut them all up. Here's the thing. This wasn't just about winning or losing. It was about respect. Beating Mike Tyson, a boxing legend, would have been a monumental achievement for Jake. Now, let's be honest, Jake's got haters, a lot of them, the boxing world especially. They say he's a YouTube fluke, that he only fights past their prime celebrities and retired athletes.
Man is a fake, okay? Do not buy the wolf tickets.
They're selling y'all wolf tickets, people. You're eating them right up.
Do not accept the bullshit. This was a hand-picked, cherry-picked opponent for Jake Paul to beat up once again.
Take it from Michael Bisping, who might just be the biggest Jake Paul hater out there. Bisping has labeled Paul as a fraud and a con man who handpicks his opponents to continue this orchestrated charade of him knocking people out cold in the ring. The fight world calls him a YouTuber with boxing gloves, saying he hasn't fought a real seasoned pro. Mike Tyson is a beast. He's a boxing legend, one of the greatest of all time. Beating him would have been a huge step towards earning the respect of the boxing community. But let's not forget the other side of the coin, fam. This fight was going to be a moneymaker, like serious bank. With Netflix on board and the insane hype, the pay-per-view numbers were going to be crazy. Sponsorships, merch sales, endorsements, Jake was looking at a financial KO. This fight would have put Jake Paul's name in lights brighter than ever before. Imagine the headlines, the interviews, the social media clout. This was his chance to become a boxing superstar. Paul knew this fight wasn't going to be a walk in the park for him, but he was ready for a challenge. The critics have a lot to say as this matchup has gone down the drain. Some people are even saying this might be the end of the Jake Paul era. They say the hype was a bubble that just burst. That might be a bit dramatic. Jake's still young and has a lot to prove, but this is definitely a wake-up call. He needs to work even harder to silence the critics and earn the respect of the boxing world. With this bout called off, Jake's going to have to scramble and look for another opponent, which isn't going to be easy. I'm sure you know that Mike and Jake were set to step into the ring on July 20th at the AT&T Arena before Mike's health went downhill. Well, the fight is still on, as Paul will be fighting the bare-knuckle star Mike Perry. This is a dangerous man, so this fight is going to be a total banger. Perry isn't old or retired. He's an athlete in his prime, known for his devastating knockout power. Yeah, this fight is nowhere near Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, and it won't bring in the millions, but it would still be candy to the eyes of boxing fans. As for Mike Tyson, this one isn't going to see the light of day. It's time we accept that Iron Mike's career has bitten the dust. So there you have it, Fight World. That's all I have for you today. What are your thoughts on Jake's reaction to Mike Tyson canceling the fight? Make sure to fill the comment section with your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more boxing news.